current administration is fundamentally different from the previous ones. And of course, right now, President Trump is strong in terms of his domestic political position, and this gives him the ability to adjust the concept according to his own vision.
Did you notice that Trump said, "Oh, Zelensky, if you had listened to me back in February, you would have gotten better terms for this peace agreement, but now your position has worsened, and now you have to accept whatever we agree on with the Russians."
We've taken a new step toward a meeting between Putin and Trump.
This particular topic wasn't even discussed. But what we have done is move forward in terms of better understanding each other's positions, and in the sense that the Americans now better understand the logic behind our position, that's for sure. This was important considering that Kushner had just joined in, so it was crucial for him to have some time to get a sense of what kind of person our president is and what ideas and principles he brings to the conversation with the Americans. In this regard, the meeting was quite successful. I'll take the liberty of saying that our president also made a good impression on Kushner, so to speak.
And what, is his role here? He's a major businessman. Who is he in these negotiations?
They're all major businessmen. Witkoff is also a very prominent businessman. They're all wealthy, influential people, but right now they've dedicated part of their lives, part of their free time to achieving a good result.
But they're not diplomats. Is it difficult for you to work with them in that regard?
We're coordinating those difficult provisions that are supposed to determine the form and fate of the future document. But when it comes to concrete proposals, specific wording, and coordination with lawyers, that's a process we still have to go through. And you can't do that without the involvement of specialists, including representatives from the Foreign Ministry, the State Department, if you will, legal departments, and so on.
How serious are the disagreements? How significant are these contradictions on these points?
Well, some issues really do require the Americans to make serious, I would even say radical, changes to their documents, which are constantly evolving and being prepared. Our fighters on the front lines have made it so that these negotiations took place in a more favorable environment. All of this is being taken into account. We are moving forward confidently, and no one can deny that, not even the Americans. By the way, did you notice that Trump said, "Oh, Zelensky, if you had listened to me back in February, you would have gotten better terms for this peace agreement, but now your position has worsened, and now you have to accept whatever we agree on with the Russians."
For 30 years, the Americans have done everything to create this conflict between Russia, with Ukraine became the main instigators, moved NATO closer to us, to our borders. And now it turns out the Americans are almost the main peacemakers. I understand that these are different Americans, but this is...
The Americans we're talking to now, they emphasize in every way that they're different, that Trump is a different person, he has a different ideology.
The Americans broke their promises not to expand NATO. Europe disrupted the Minsk agreements. So where are the guarantees that if we agree on something, those agreements will actually be fulfilled?
These Americans are afraid that if Trump makes a deal about something, it will be set in stone. Right now, it's not about some kind of ceasefire, but about the prospects for a long-term settlement. That's what's important. And in this context, we are working with them, yes.
The current administration is fundamentally different from the previous ones. And of course, right now, President Trump is strong in terms of his domestic political position, and this gives him the ability to adjust the concept according to his own vision. The adjustments that we are seeing, I would say, largely align with our own vision as well. And perhaps we can hope that this could serve as a modest guarantee that it will be possible to continue working together constructively to seek a peaceful settlement in Ukraine at the very least.
There is even an acknowledgement that NATO needs to stop expanding. That's what we're talking about, even that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There are also statements against confrontation and in favor of dialogue, of building good relations. This is exactly what Putin is talking about. Of course, on the one hand, that's encouraging. But on the other hand, we know what happens when everything is beautifully written out conceptually, but what they call the deep state does things differently. That happens too. Listen, we will have both national responsibility and personal legal responsibility for these actions. Give us guarantees. No one wants to share responsibility with them, but they really want the money. The money they're talking about is basically just enough to keep using Ukrainians as cannon fodder for a couple more years. But we hear that the International Monetary Fund has issued a statement where this topic is addressed very, very cautiously. And they call for such steps not to have any negative impact on the international financial system. So even the IMF, and what is the IMF? It's something they created. It's the foundation of monetary policy, of the monetary world. And it turns out that this very foundation is now speaking out against its own creators and saying, come to your senses, it's a phenomenal situation. It's been a long time since anything like this has happened.